Hey guys, how you doing? Today is July 11, Friday, and now is the tariff again, right? Donald Trump brings back the tariff war, right? So that is marvelous, right, for all of us, right? But the stock market will be shaking, and today Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index rise to 2%, nearly 2%, 1.9%, and even the A share rise by 1%, right? So it is terrific, right? Today we will pick up one subject is Starbucks, right? Starbucks is not way too expensive. You should stay away from this stock, right? After I analyze the balance sheet, I think you should stay away from this stock, right? So here's why, right? Just watch, right? Okay, our Falcon portfolio been 130%, right? 130%, right? Just 2%, then we hit the new heights, right? Okay, for any of you have any comment, you can leave your message under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me by Usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com. This is our cover, right? Starbucks still too expensive. Actually, it's not too expensive. You should stay away from this stock. Yesterday, Dow Jones rose by 192 points. May not be today, right? Because the tariff wars again. So there may be a drop again, right? So yesterday, Dow Jones ended up 44,650. Same to Nasdaq, nearly no change, right? Just rise by 19 points, 20,630. Our Falcon 350,000 portfolio, then we have no loss, right? All the stock positive, and our portfolio performance is 130%, right? This year we rise by 3%. We come to some very important news first, right? And Trump just announced 35% tariff on Canada. 35%. Remember, there's still some car tariff, right? Some steel and aluminum tariff, right? And then Trump announced that 35% tariff on Canada starting from August 1st, and warns of higher levies if Ottawa retaliates. Then that is no use. That is no use because he used it for so many times already. So I think Canada will retaliate very soon, right? I think that, right? And Mark Carney said, right, Canadian government has steadfastly defended our workers and business during its trade negotiation with the Trump administration, right? So then she must fight back, right? Another one that fight back is Brazil. Actually, they are in similar trade amount to each other, right? 40 something billion, right? Both of them, right? And the commodity that they buy from each other are not very special items, right? Some machine parts, agricultural products, some aircraft. Is not very high-tech things, right? Both should be able to find substitutes, right? If like that, right? So Brazil just rounded retaliatory tariffs against US if Trump follows, and no other discussions on 50 import tax. And we have to know that. All right. Early this year, Brazil already passed the law approved by Congress. Then if negotiation with the US fail, then she can, right, impose the retaliate tariff 50%, right, the same. because the trade amount is similar, the same. Well, I remember US buy from Brazil is 4.9 billion something, 49 billion something per year. And Brazil buy from US is 42 billion something, right? So it's quite similar. So you give me 50, I give you 50, right? And both of their commodities are easy to find substitutes, right? Not difficult. So I think that will be the result. And Trump will have a blanket tariffs, right? What is a blanket tariffs? That means then all of you have to pay that as a base. So what is the percentage of a blanket tariffs? It's about 15 to 20% on most trade partners, most, well, not all of them, right? And then what from Trump said, if everyone pay the same base, then there's no inflation, right? Yes, but in return, the other countries can impose the same to you, right? They can do the same. If all of them do the same, then what should you do? What can you do, right? If all of them do that, then what can you do? Then which country will be beneficiary from that, right? We should think about it, right? We should think about it if like that, right? What is the a lot of people still don't have the concept of tariff. They don't know why there is a tariff, why they use it, under what circumstances then use it, right? If do like that, then who will be beneficiary? Definitely it's not US, right? Definitely is that. Then who? Which one's stock market rise? Then that one get the benefits, right? For the smart money. Why? Then I'm not saying now, right? You should find out a book and then read that. It's so simple, right? Just 1 to 2 days and you can finish, right? Very easy. Then you know what is a tariff, right? How does it work? Which one benefits from them, right? Very easy. So, quite simple, right? Asia Pacific markets mostly rise after Trump hits Canada with 35% tariff and the blanket tariff, and then if Brazil fight back, right, it will have the stock market rise further if Brazil fights back, right? So you can see that for Hong Kong Hang Seng Index rise nearly by 2%, right? And even Shanghai rise by 1%. Then I give you a homework to find out why. And Trump hosts Jensen Huang at White House as NVIDIA posts 4 trillion market cap. I don't know why he need to do the host for Jensen, right? And then Jensen will come to China in next week, right? And White House accused Powell of mismanaging Federal Reserve, citing the headquarters renovation. Then that is not workable, right? That's not workable because he has the authority, right? For putting up, right, or not changing the interest rate, then Powell has the authority, right, from the people, right? So it's not against the law. And then if that is not going too far, then for renovation of the headquarters is also within his authority or budgeting, right? Or what is being allowed. So I don't know why he do that. And another one is the Pentagon to become the largest shareholder in rare earth miner MP Material. MP Material is public listed, right? And then the stock price surged by 50%. The Defense Department will buy 400 million of preferred. See that is the preferred stock, all right, in MP Materials. That means then government will have the right high dividend, right? That means the preferred stock, right? And what is the use of that? I don't know, right? I don't know, right? Because that helping to get cheaper rare metals? No, right? And Defense Department then will support MP materials to do a second magnet manufacturing facility in the US, right? Then she can do it, right? Then she can do it. Actually, Defense Department can do it, right? What's the point of buying the stock of MP materials? I don't know, right? I don't know. It's helping for what, right? Helping for what? Get cheaper rare metals or rare magnet metals? No, right? So I don't know why. Why? Well, it doesn't matter, right? Then just that only one thing is then US can manufacture the important rare earth metals by herself. But that's the only meaning to me. Right? Okay, then we go into Starbucks. Starbucks is not a growing stock anymore. We can see that in the past 5 years, then, right? You can see that the stock only increased by 28%, right? With a dividend yield of 2.56%. And the PE ratio is a fair ratio of 34 something, right? So it was quite disappointing, right? You can see that it's been rising a little bit for 120 and then dropped it again. And in the past 1 year, it rose by 29%, and in the past 6 months, it rose by 1.75%. Actually, Starbucks been doing a lot of some revolutions, right? Wants to bring back the golden age, right? Not only because of China, right? Not only because of China, right? Then she want to cut the discount, right? Cut more people, and then change the menu, right? And then change a lot of things, but it doesn't help for the past half year. Didn't change, right? The results still bad. Then we can quickly take a look on that. That was very bad. I'm apologize because then what I can get the report from Starbucks, the letters are not big. So that is not only the China problem. We can see that the upper one is for US herself. We can see that for this quarter is to end of March, right? And the result for end of June, I think will be announced at end of this month or early next month, right? We can see that the comparable store sales dropped, still dropped, right? And the transaction dropped, right? And then only one thing is the store count increased by 3%, right? And for international, right, the comparable store sales increased 2%, right? That means the international actually is better than US herself, right? But US herself then has the biggest part, right? And then the transaction is better, and then the ticket not good, right? The ticket minus by 1%. That means for every transaction, the money spent, right, dropped it by 1%. Revenue increased just a little bit, right? Increased just a little bit, and then but the operating income dropped it by 7%, right? What happened? And the operating margin also dropped it by 1.7%. What happened, right? For international. Then for consolidated account, total revenue, okay, right, increased by 2.3%. That means first quarter of this year compared to the same last year. But I put a very big question mark, is the net earning, right? The net earning. How does it happen? Net earning attributable to Starbucks, right? $384 million US dollar compared to 1 year before, $772 million US dollar. It dropped by 50%. Right? What happened? Why? Right? But the cash dividend per share increased by a few percent. Where does the money come from? Right? Why still holding that dividend amount? Right? Because afraid of the people that sell the stock. But the people will, because if you look at that, the net ending is very bad. See that? The upper one is the first quarter, right? 1 quarter only. And then the lower one, we count 2 quarters. If we count 1 quarter, operating income is a loss of 34.8%. And if we count 2 quarters, then it's a little bit, right? A little bit better. Right? That means the first quarter of this year is very bad. Right? See that? Quite clear. And for international, revenue increased by 6.2%, right? But the operating income still a drop for 2 quarters, right? And the operating income for the first quarter still dropped by 7.2%, right? That means Starbucks got a lot of problems, right? Got a lot of problems, not only China, right? Even in US, then she has the problem. And for channel development, right? Channel development, revenue dropped it. Operating income, wow, dropped it by 10.5%, right? And for 2 quarters of channel development, operating income still dropped by 5.7%, right? Very bad. And that is the most terrible part, right? We can see that for the total current asset, right, 6.7 billion US dollar, and for total current liability, right, is 10.4 billion US dollar. That means it's not enough, right? Still, she has to find 3.3 billion US dollar, right, to pay back the current liability. But we know that the annual profit is only 1.53 billion US dollar if from this earning of this quarter. So how can she pay back? Right? It's not enough. But the current liability is what she needs to pay in 1 year. And then the long-term debt is 13.3 billion US dollar. So that means she has to use something from the total asset, like the long-term investment, or some equity investment, some property, some plants, and then she has to sell the China portion. Now they said that is 10 billion US dollar. All right. Few bills came in, all right, but it's still selecting. But a lot of people said that it's not worth 10 billion US dollar, right? Not worth. You can see that why she did it. See that? She has to pay back the current liability. Otherwise, she has to sell something, all right? Or raise the money, whatever, right? Whatever she does, then affect the stock price, all right? So she was in very bad shape, right? Very, very bad shape. And then a lot of people, they're thinking then if even the US stock dropping the profit like that, does Starbucks still worth that money, right? Losing coffee in China and also now in US. A lot of coffee came up, right? In the US, in Europe, even in Hong Kong, right? Even in China, even in US then. Starbucks is not the same as previous before. Maybe a lot of people just tired of the coffee already, right? And the rising of the labor costs, the rent, right, and the material, right, and the food material, the beverage material, that make she in a very difficult position. So for me is don't care about how much her China business can sell, right? Stay away from this stock. Unless then she has quite rough changing, right? That means something that sounds workable for you, right? If not, then stay away from this stock, right? I think that the cycle of Starbucks came to nearly the end already for so many years, 20 years, I think so, right? More than 20 years, right? A lot of people then try the Starbucks every day, right? And we know that the coffee is too sweet, right? Too sweet, then it will hurt your health. For diabetes, something like that, right? So be careful on this stock, right? And find another good opportunities, right? So guys, thanks for watching, and then like, comment, share, and subscribe. Appreciate it, right? So thanks guys for watching, and I hope everyone have a very peaceful weekend. See you guys on next Friday. Bye bye.